Hello friends, today is the 22nd day of Flutter and today we are going to see Tooltip and Slider. Now a tooltip in Flutter, tooltip is a material design widget which is basically used to let the user know about the functionalities that are provided by a particular button or UI widget. So when a widget is equipped inside tooltip and on long presses on that particular widget, the tooltip will be visible as a floating label. So we can uh, use this tooltip whenever we want the user to know about the functionalities that are to be provided by a particular widget. Now slider is a uh, material design widget which is used to show some particular values. So in slider we can change the value and we can select a range of values by just dragging or pressing on that particular widget. So let's jump to the code and see the features and functionalities that are provided by this both widget. So here is our app. Now we are going to remove this scaffold from here and we are going to create one stateless. Okay, we are going to create stateless widget. No need to use stateful widget. So inside this stateless widget, we are going to create tooltip widget first. Now we will call this tooltip inside this. Now we are going to hit Control and S. Now as we are having one container, we will remove it and make it scaffold. Inside this, we are going to specify the app bar. Now inside app bar, the title should be wrapped inside the text widget and the title should be tooltip. Now just hit Control and S. Now you can see one app bar. Now we are going to create the body of our scaffold. So it will be one container. Now in the child of this container will be tooltip and the child of this will be anything, like we can create flat button or icon directly inside this child. And now I'm going to specify the icon inside this flat button. So I'm going to use the I'm not going to use this alarm. Okay, I'll just hit Control and S. Okay, here is one error, that is message should not be equal to null. So the property of tooltip, which is message, which is the main purpose of this tooltip widget, should not be null. So set alarm. Now just hit Control and S. Now you can see here is one icon. Now we are going to increase the size of this to somewhat 150. Now just hit Control and S. Now align this child of this container to center. Okay, now it's done. Now you can long press on it. Now you can see here is the set alarm message. That is the purpose of this icon. And we can also change the property of this by using the other property. We can also change the visibility and waiting time of our message by using the property like wait duration, and can specify it in seconds like 2, 3, 4 according. Okay, now the second one is show duration. Now we are going to specify it also in seconds, somewhat about 3. Now we can see that the show duration and wait duration has been increased. Now we are going to change the style of this message. So we can change it by using the text style property, and we are going to use the text style widget for this, and we are going to increase the font size to about 20, and the color of the text should be color dot, not blue, it should be it should be red. Okay, now just long press on this. Now you can see here is the font size has been increased and the color has been changed. Now we are going to change the decoration of our tooltip by using the decoration property. So we will use the box decoration widget, and inside this we are going to specify first of all the color. So the color should be blue, and we can also change the border radius. So I will make the radius of that somewhat about 20. Now just hit Ctrl and S. Now you can see the background color has been changed to blue, and the radius of the border has been increased. Now uh, we are going to change the color of this. I'm going to make it white. Just hit Ctrl and S. Okay, now it's red. Now this is all about the tooltip widget. We can wrap anything inside this tooltip whenever we want to show the uh, functionality that is provided by a particular widget. So second, we are going to create sliders. So for that, what we have to do, we are going to create one stateful widget. Now it will be slider. Now inside this slider we are going to specify one initial value to the slider, that should be about 6. Now we are going to create one slider. So before that, just make it scaffold, specify the upper. Inside this upper we are going to specify the property. Okay, title should be used, and it will be wrapped inside text widget. So now we are creating one slider. Now just hit Ctrl and S. Okay, we haven't called this class yet. So just remove this tooltip widget and put the slider with. Now you can see we are calling this one. Now we are going to create the body of our scaffold. So I will create one row, and inside this it should be children. Now the first one will be one icon, that will be the icon dot volume up. Just hit Ctrl and S. Now here you can see we are going to give some padding to this by using the padding up widget. So just use this padding and make this edge. Okay, okay, instead of, okay, we are going to use only one, and we'll specify 20. Now the child should be the icon. Just hit Ctrl and S. Now we are going to specify the mean axis alignment to be at center. So just hit Ctrl and S, and we are going to create one another child of this, that is, it will be in X. Okay, not inside the padding. We will wrap it inside expanded, so it will cover the whole space. Another child of this will be slider. So we are going to specify the slider inside this. So just hit Ctrl and S. Now we are having an error, that is value should not be equal to null. So the required property of this slider widget is value, and we are going to specify this value initially. Now okay, we have to also specify the minimum and maximum value. So use this property maximum and use the property minimum, and it should be 1. Now just hit Ctrl and S. Now you can see we are having one slider that is having maximum value 20, minimum 1, and the initial value is 6. Now we are going to increase the size of this icon to somewhat 20. Okay, make it 50. Okay, now it's perfect. Now we are going to specify the color of this slider. So we can specify some active color also, and it should be green or blue or anything. And other color is hover color, or we can change the other color of this also. So by using the background color property, okay, in active color, okay. So color dot, we are going to use red for that. Just hit Control and S. Okay, now you can't see any changes, because to see the changes we have to specify this on change property, and inside this on change we have to specify new value. So for that, value will be in double. So we are going to specify new value, and we are going to return the value. Now just hit Control and S. Now you can see the color has been changed. And this on changed with property, we have to use the set state method and have to specify the new value to add. Now okay, we have to again make it double. Now we can see the changes inside this. Okay, we have to use the round. Just hit Control. Again we are okay. Instead of this, we have to use semicolon. Now we can change the values of this. You can see we can also specify label to this, that is label, and in set of volume, just hit Control and S. Now whenever you will change, okay, we have to also make this label visible into this. So for that we can use the semantic formatter callback property. So this was all about the slider. So now we are going to create one slider of images. So for that we have to import one package, which is swiper, Flutter swiper. So for that we have to open the Dart packages. Now inside this, search for Flutter swiper, not slider, swiper. Okay, here is this. Now we have to install it inside the pubspec.yaml file. So just add this dependency inside the pubspec.yaml file. Now we are going to create image slider. So it will be stateless widget only, and image slider. So we are going to use contain, okay, it will be all right. And we are going to create one child of swiper. So let's use the swiper method, and image slider, create this widget, and we will call this widget inside here child. Before that we are going to specify the build context to be passed as a required parameter. So here we will call the image slider. Now we are going to return swiper. Okay, we will return new swiper. Now inside this swiper, okay, it is returning, so we have to specify the semicolon also. So inside this swiper, the required parameters have to be mentioned. So the first one is 10. Okay, we have to make the autoplay as true. We are not going to move the image. Now the third one is item builder. So we have to specify the build context, and we have to specify the integer. index. Now we are going to return something inside this. I'll just return, we can return image. Now we are going to provide the URL of the image, so we are not going to use other property. Now we are going to copy the URL of any of the image. So just copy the link of any image. So just open it and copy the image address from here and paste it inside this. Okay, it is not of JPEG type. Let me show, is this image only or something else? Okay, it is the website link. We have to look for the image URL. So we are going to paste. Okay, it's also not the image URL. So just you. Now we are going to copy the image address, paste it. Okay, it is the image URL as it is having the extension at JPG. Now we can call this image slider inside our main app, that is my app, and we are going to call the image slider. Now just hit Ctrl and S. Now you can see there, here is our sliders, and as we have specified autoplay as true, so it is the images are changing by default. So we are going to change the width of this. So let's, okay, we are going to specify the padding property. So h dot, okay, instead of just making all, create somewhat 40, and going to specify margin also. Okay, 40. Okay, it is making the image much smaller, so let it. Now we are going to use some other property like constraint box, constraint dot expand, and we'll make the height as 200. Let's see. Okay, it's taking the image size by default, so no need to specify the constraint or leave it as it is. So the other property we are going to use is fit box fit dot cover. Just hit Control and S. Okay, so here you can change the fitting property of the image also. I'm just going to remove this and just hit Control and S. It's alright. Now this was all about the tooltip and slider. So thank you and have a nice day.